All right, guys, we got Bud Black here for you. We're going to go ahead and start with Patrick. Go ahead, Patrick.
Hey, Corey. Hey, buddy, two-part question for you. One, how good was Stroman today? And second part of the question, what did you think of your approach against him?
I thought he was. I thought he pitched extremely well. The first part of your question, as evident by the numbers, good sinker, good hard cutter. Ball had a lot of action in the hitting area. You know, it was tough to square up a lot of ground balls, which is a big part of his game. You know, our approach was to, you know, try to get the ball up the best we could because we knew the movement on the pitches. You know, a lot of them with the fastball, it's going to sink and have action down in the strike zone. The hard cutter slider away to the righties, into the lefties. It was really hard to pick up. You know, it's got great spin. It's hard to differentiate between either pitch when it comes out of the hand. That's what makes him so effective. So I think that, you know, our aggressiveness in the strike zone, he was throwing a ton of strikes, a lot of first pitch strikes. He has enough command where if you fall behind the count, you know, he can nip the corner with movement and it makes it a little harder to get hit. So, you know, there's a little bit of aggressiveness throughout the day. We just didn't square enough balls up. A lot of balls on the ground, a lot of balls off the end of the bat or the hands. So he pitched well.
And if I could follow up on one, you just mentioned aggressiveness. What do you think of Trevor's attempt to steal second and kind of jumpstart the offense in the night?
We have to do that. You know, we can't sit back and wait. You know, there are pitcher-catcher combinations that we look at prior to a series that give advantage to run. Trevor has base stealing capabilities. You know, we felt at that point that, you know, taking a shot there against that combination would work in our favor. But Cam made a strong throw, and it was a bang-bang play.
Thank you, buddy.
Go ahead, Owen Perkins.
Buddy, what can you say about Senzatela's performance today, and just to follow up the way the bullpen backed him up?
You know, well-pitched game by both sides, you know, obviously by the score. But I thought Senza had a nice mix of pitches. You know, I was impressed today by his use of the changeup. His breaking ball was effective, and he had, you know, velocity to the fastball. All three pitches worked today. You know, he was throwing the ball with authority. He was throwing with conviction. But I think coming out of this, I think the use of the changeup has been important for him, as it has been for John, and it will be for Herman moving forward. I think we've seen, you know, Kyle last year with the changeup. So the changeup's, you know, developing for a lot of our starters, which is a great thing. And he matched Stroman. I mean, it was a good game. I mean, there's a pitcher's duel all the way through. Stevenson came in, did his job. You know, Gibbons, you know, gave up the leadoff single to Nemo, but got out of it. And then Daniel had a 1-2-3 ninth with a nice relay from Charlie to Mac to Fuentes when Big Neil hit that ball down the line. So again, relievers did their job. The Mets pitchers, Stroman and Diaz, did their job as well.
Great, thank you.
Thomas Harding, go ahead, Thomas.
Yes, Senza obviously bounced back from the start against the Dodgers, but you look at over the last 2 years, sub 2.5 ERA against everybody but the Dodgers. Are you seeing this guy develop into a front of the rotation type of guy? I'm
seeing him develop into a very effective major league starting pitcher. You know, we've seen the development before our eyes of the secondary pitches. I think that's going to continue to improve. He's in a good spot physically and mentally with his pitches and his frame of mind and where he is with his stuff. So I expect that will continue.
What is the next step for him, you think?
Well, just refining what he's doing. I think, again, we're seeing, the development of the changeup, development of, a better breaking ball, or, two breaking balls, the curve and the slider. You're always working to get better. Pitchers are always working to improve their fastball command, the location of all their pitches, the confidence and trust in secondary pitches when you're behind the count. I can continue on of all the things that, pitchers continue to work on. And Sense is doing that. Every side session, every game is a learning experience. And he continues to grow as a pitcher. He's not a finished product yet. I mean, there's still some upside there with Senzatela.
When you're going through a tough stretch, is it tough to be facing pitchers with sub-1 ERAs? I mean, I looked at Stroman today. Even the called strikes, they're all over the strike zone. I mean, it seems like you're facing a lot of guys who are really pitching well right now.
Well, for sure. I mean, we face some quality pitching. DeGrom, Stroman today. These are all-star type pitchers. They're upper echelon of the game's best starting pitchers. But that's part of the big league experience. And our guys are getting it firsthand. Again, I'm sort of repeating myself on this, but our guys, a lot of our guys are opening day roster for the first time. They're getting that exposure. It's good for them. As a group, offensively, we haven't hit our stride as evident by our overall numbers as a group, both with batting average and on base percentage. And we feel that in time that will improve. We just like we talked about, for our offense to get going. You've heard me say before, we need 6-7 guys swinging the bat well. We don't have that many. We have that 6 or 7 guys really helping, getting hits or getting on base. So we need that to turn at some point to be able to generate some runs.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, last couple of questions. We'll go to Ed and then Danielle. Go ahead, Ed.
Hey, buddy. Obviously, you got to be disappointed that you lost this series with the Mets, but good game today. And you mentioned DeGrom on Friday. This has got to make you feel good, right? That this team, even though they're going to perhaps come up empty-handed sometimes, they can compete in low-scoring games.
Well, we're gonna scrap that. That's for sure. And I do think the scrappiness of this group as guys, as players, will show up eventually, especially on offense. We got to get the bullpen in order a little bit. That's been a little variable. I've maintained it. I think our starters in the long haul of 6 months are going to provide us a chance to win. We played close games, these first, 3 weeks of the season. I expect that to continue. But we have to get some offense. We got to get some guys turned around a little bit and going forward with their average and with their on-base percentage.
Buddy, talking about the offense and specifically CJ over at first, what are you seeing from him, and where do you think what are the key things he needs to work on to improve both offensively, perhaps, and defensively?
Well, offensively, there's a track record of power, so I think that's going to happen. Offensively, he gets on base more than anybody on our team right now, Ed. He's leading our team in on-base percentage. And to score runs, you got to get on base. So I think the power will come. I think the average will improve. He's just under 200, like a lot of our fellas are. There's been a couple balls that he's misplayed at first, but there's been a couple good plays as well. So again, to get better at first, you practice, just like all our players, whether it's Trevor, whether it's Mac, Fuentes, these guys practice with Stu each and every day. They practice to get better. Again, we need all these guys to perform, not just CJ Crone. But like I mentioned earlier, if you look at who's getting on base the most for us, it's him and Daza.
Very good, buddy. Enjoy your day off tomorrow.
All right, we'll finish off with Danielle before we get Trevor up here. Go ahead, Danielle.
Hey, buddy. Just wanted to check on Chris Owings with him moving to the 60-day IL. Is it still just the sprained thumb? Is there anything new there?
No, he's going to require a surgical procedure on the thumb. It's going to be at least 8 weeks of recovery or more. You know, it's just disappointing and frustrating for CO. He was off to such a great start. And really the last couple of years, you know, he's been banged up, which is a bummer. You know, I think, you know, he was at a point in his career where I think, you know, mentally and what he was doing with his swing and, you know, sort of get a little bit of bounce back with his confidence with the bat. As evident by, you know, just less than 20 at bats, but he provided us, you know, some offense to help us win. You know, he was instrumental in a couple of our wins with some big offensive days. But so this is a setback. It's a blow for CO. But you know, come the summer, you know, he should be back healthy and the thumb healed, and he should be a contributor.
Thank you.